Start talking. Hello, hello. Can you guys see me yet? I'm not used to this again. It's like riding a bike. We'll see. Can you guys see me yet? Or is it still catching up?
Yeah, we see.
Okay, good deal. Hi, guys. I'm alive. Um, I don't know how long this live is going to be. This is a new thing. I get tired pretty easy still. But um, so many of you guys, what in the world happened? What happened? So I'm going to tell you guys what happened, the good, the bad, the ugly. Um, and still, since it's a true crimey channel, I think I watched the Diane Sawyer 2020 thing about the Turpin family. That is a terrible case, and it still is. So if you guys watched it, we'll talk about it. Um, but anyway, it is so good to be back. You guys have no idea how bad I missed you all and missed myself. So, where even to start? I talked to you guys in September. The beginning of September, I think, was my last live video. I think the last thing I did was a live. I don't know. COVID brain is a thing. My memory is hit and miss. It's coming back, but there are a lot of things I don't remember. So, if you've got questions, type them in. My son is kind of producing. Noah's behind the screen to read stuff to me if I can't see it. Um, so anyway, right before I left, I started feeling pretty bad, and I thought it's pancreatitis again. I go to the hospital with pancreatitis a lot, but my sugar wasn't sky high, so I thought that is probably not what it is. And I thought, well, maybe it's a gallstone because I'd had a gallstone. I don't know okay, I was out for 2 months, 6 months ago maybe. So I thought maybe that's what it is. I didn't have any problems breathing. My lungs didn't hurt. I wasn't having body aches or anything. So we went to the emergency room. I had to go by myself. My husband couldn't stay. He was outside because of COVID. I sat in the emergency room for 5 hours. And then they took me back and triaged me. I kind of told them what I thought it was. They gave me a COVID test and put me back in the waiting room. And then a nurse came out about 30 minutes later and whispered in my ear, I've got to take you um, to another room. And I just assumed she meant they're taking me to a room. But um, she said, you have to, when we got away from the other people in the emergency room, she said, I have to take you to the COVID waiting room. And I said, what? Does that mean I have COVID? Like my test came back positive? And I was pretty freaking out at that point. And she just whispered yes because she didn't want people in the waiting room to know they'd been sitting next to somebody with COVID. I'm pretty sure. So I tried to hold it together. And I called my mom, which most of you guys know my parents had just moved to Panama um, a month. If it was even yeah, I think it had been a month. They'd been in Panama, maybe 3 weeks or so. And I called my mom, and she was like, so what are they saying? Because she knew I'd gone to the emergency room. And I said, Mom, I have COVID. And my mom just gasped and cried. And I cried, and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. So after that, my memory is gone. I know that I know I was awake and on oxygen and some other medicine and stuff for COVID for 2 days. I do know that. I've seen posts, which is really wild to see that you have written things and you have absolutely no recollection of it at all. I just remember being in the waiting room and being told I had COVID. So here's where it gets kind of dicey. Day 3, I guess my heart monitor went crazy and nurses came in my room to see what was going on. And I was in the floor and I was blue. I knocked off my oxygen and couldn't breathe. So everybody came running. This is what they've told me. And they put me on a ventilator. So there was that. Knocked me out. Things went downhill from there. It kept getting worse. My organs started shutting down one by one. My kidneys, which I've never had problems before with ever. Everybody's kind of surprised. I've never had kidney problems being diabetic and everything else that's wrong with me. Completely shut down. So they put me on continual dialysis. My parents immediately got on a plane and came back. But I was on the COVID floor, so I had 0 visitors, none of that mess. More stuff shut down, went badly. The doctor said she's got about a 10%, less than 10% chance of coming out of this. It was bad. They made arrangements for my family to come in. And I guess everybody kind of said their goodbyes. And I'm glad I don't remember that. I do remember some things. Like, if you were in a medically induced coma, you can hear people. I do remember a lot of stuff that way. And then the next day, or some amount of days later, the doctor said in all of his years, and this was an older doctor, in all of his years of experience, he had never seen somebody come off dialysis. They ran lab work and my kidneys just started working again. And so I got to come off dialysis. My kidneys are fine. Everything just kind of started going up. They put a trach in, so I have a nice scar on my neck that's covered up right now. Trachs are no fun. No fun at all. So I just kept making progress to the point that they needed to move me out of the COVID floor into an acute care facility. I've never even heard of that. So it's a special hospital that deals with people that are kind of still on life support, need more help than they can give you at the ICU, but it's long term. So I was at the first hospital for a month, out. The next thing I remember was them transferring me to the other hospital by ambulance. I do remember the ambulance ride. After that, it got really weird. Sorry. Mom said when she came in, I was on 15 different machines. Like, it was ugly. Before they transferred me to the acute facility, when I said my organs quit, I mean my organs quit. I died, which is scary. But they shocked me twice and got me back. That's terrible. So I went to the acute care facility. They had me on a ton of medicine, in which I found out I'm allergic to Ativan. And some of the side effects of Ativan are hallucinations, major depression, and it completely changes your personality. They said that I was terrible. I don't remember this at all. I was still, I was apparently awake, like I was conscious, but I don't have any recollection of it. People came in. I didn't recognize my own kids, my brother. One of the nurses said that she came in and said, I called your mom. And that I looked at her. Now I had a trach, so it wasn't a ton of talking. She's like, I called your mom, and she said, if looks could kill, I'd have been dead. And she said, oh, do you not get along with your mom? And apparently I said, no, I hate her. And if you guys know anything about my mom, like that's so crazy. But I didn't recognize anybody. My kids, my brother, my mom. I guess I recognized Dan. It wasn't so bad with him. So it took a weekish to 10 days for them to figure out it was the Ativan. Mom kept saying she wasn't like this. You guys have her on a medication. This isn't her. Yeah. So thank God for moms that know better. A lot of people might have just thought this was a permanent something that happened, with COVID. I don't know. So there was one nurse after I don't know how many that finally said, yeah, they just put her on Ativan in a drip, and hallucinations and stuff is a side effect. So they weaned me off of that, and I say I woke up. I mean, I was conscious already, but to me, I was finally aware, and it was overwhelming, to say the least. Everything came back. There were people. I didn't understand where I was, what had happened. People were like, today it's Halloween. And I'm just like, I went in the hospital on September 10th. I watched some news. I looked at YouTube. People called. Paul, live from my sofa, was the first person that called me, and I love Paul. He's checked in on me and talked to me multiple times a day, every single day. It was quite a conversation. I talked to Rosie on the phone for a long time. There was a lot of phone calls and that kind of stuff, and I had to ask a lot of questions because I'm just like, what happened? Some of it's come back, some of it hasn't. I'm glad I don't remember a lot of the hospital, to be honest. When I died, I had I don't know, would you call it a near-death experience if you actually die? I don't know what you would call that, but I went to heaven, and I know people are probably going to go, you are absolutely nuts and hallucinated. But it was before I was ever on the Ativan, so it wasn't an hallucination. And when I told my mom about it, and I'm starting to forget that, and I think that's on purpose. So I guess I told my mom a lot of things that I shouldn't have known, and she's like, "There's no way that that's like made up in your brain," because I said like my mom's mom died when I was 2 months old, and I would tell her stuff, and I saw a lot of people that are gone. The best way to I didn't go inside of heaven. I could see the gates. I couldn't see in. And it was almost like when a group of people picks you up at the airport. Like there was a group of people, maybe 10 people or so. And I had conversations with them. I probably won't go into a lot of that because most of that's just family stuff. But at the end, I can remember one of them saying that I got to choose whether or not to come back. I could stay, And I can remember saying, I can't leave my boys. And so I'm guessing that's probably when I got shocked. Um, so I look a lot different. Apparently, when you're in the hospital on COVID, they don't really care what your hair looks like. And knowing me, my hair was up on top of my head and rolling around and being flipped around and all that mess for 6 weeks. They were like, nobody could get it untangled. Like, by the time mom got to see me, they really, really tried to get my hair brushed down. And so they chopped it. So, I have a hairdresser that's coming to kind of fix it, even it out. But my hair's gone. My makeup is probably crazy. I lost 35 pounds. So I would rather say instead I fought with COVID, I probably went to fat camp for 2 months. Um, see, I came home from the hospital yesterday. I was supposed to go to rehab, but with COVID, all of the rehab facilities are operating at half or a third capacity. So the guy in the room next to me had been waiting 7 weeks to go to rehab, and I said, I can't do it. Um, can they just come to my house and give me physical therapy? And so that's what we decided to do. So the biggest change, I'm in a wheelchair. I cannot feel my legs from the knees down. I don't know if that's going to be permanent or not, but I'm here. A wheelchair is better than not being here, you know? So, you think my hair looks good? I'll take it for now. I'll take it. I should have curled it, but they're remodeling my bathroom so a wheelchair can even get in there. So, you guys got a hand mirror version of this today. I don't think my makeup matches my skin anymore. I'm pretty pale. I'm on a ton of medication. But I didn't want to put this off because what I looked like. I was like, I've just got to get back in the saddle and get back on it, you know? My nails aren't painted. Somebody painted my nails. I think my mom did while I was unconscious. So, COVID sucks, guys. I'm not even kidding about that. COVID is bad. Everybody in my family got it. The boys, except Elijah. Elijah did not get it. I think everybody, let's see, Dan and Noah got the antibody infusion thing. So Elijah didn't get COVID at all. And then Xander got COVID pneumonia, so he couldn't take that. But none of them had to be hospitalized. They stayed home and got over it. Because, dear Lord, if I had woken up and one of them was as bad as me, I don't know what I would have done. So, different people that contacted me, I'll be quite honest, it took me a little while. I'm like, I don't know who this is. I'm still trying to piece together. They were like, so and so talked about you on this channel, and so was asking about you. And I was just like, how do these people even know me? Like, I have nothing YouTube channel with, 1,000 subscribers, but apparently it kind of made a difference. So let's try to read some of these comments. Paul is a great man. Yeah, I ordered him a sweatshirt for Halloween. And let me tell you, when I got home, there was a pile of packages halfway up my wall. I'm not even exaggerating. I had ordered a lot of stuff, and then my BoxyCharm came in. The Hunt a Killer boxes came in, so I've got to get back to that. But I opened the package and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Paul's sweatshirt!" And I'm like, "It's not Halloween anymore, but I'm gonna send it to you." um, let's see what we got. Gosh, there's a lot of comments. I gotta scroll up, but I'm so nervous. I'm glad there's not a ton of people on here, to be quite honest. I didn't put it on Twitter. I didn't advertise it, and I didn't put it up. I didn't schedule it till late because I don't think I could have handled like a ton of stuff right now. So if you guys have questions, I'll answer them because I'm sure I skipped a lot of stuff. Good to see you back. How are you feeling? I'm okay. There's still a lot of pain. I mean, they keep you pretty doped up in a hospital, and that's not something that they send you home with. The depression thing, apparently, it comes with COVID. That seems to be a big deal. It is depressing. When I like 3 weeks ago, I couldn't roll over in the hospital bed. Everything that had to be done, nurses had to come in and move me so I can sit up on my own. I transfer from place to place on something that they call a slide board. You kind of stick it under your butt and put it where you need to go, a chair, back in the bed, the wheelchair, whatever. And you just kind of scoot on it because I can't put weight on my legs. So I'm doing a lot of therapy that way, and being in a bed on your back for months does a number on your back. So there's a lot of pain that goes with it, but again, I'm here. I'm so behind on all the cases. We did send, like the day after I woke up, I talked to James Hutchinson's aunt, and things are pretty ugly financially for them. So I transferred all of the money that you guys had donated to have been sent to them. So that was in November, the very 1st of November. So our first payment from our charity has already been sent. They needed, his brother and sister were adopted by James's dad, if you guys don't remember. And he had nothing. So we were able to send money to help them get winter clothes and all that stuff because they're right up above Cincinnati, Ohio. So that was a good day that we got to transfer that money. What else happened?
Do you want me to read these questions?
Yeah, no, read me some questions.
We have a lot here. Someone wants to know about how is the family coping? We are.
Noah says they're good. Mom and Dad had a freaking cruise scheduled, so they left for their cruise this morning. She thought about canceling that, but when they said I was gonna go home, she felt a lot better. Like I wasn't going backwards. Oh, I had a feeding tube put in too. They took that out, so I kind of feel like a flute. I got holes where I had a feeding tube in my stomach and this thing in my throat. Both are already closed. They just kind of have to be protected. So it'll just be a scar. Lord knows I got enough makeup to cover that up. There are a lot of help. I still need a lot of help. I can't see as well to do my medicine, my insulin, and that kind of stuff. So I'm not home alone at any time. So they're doing good. scared them to death. I think I probably hurt some people's feelings and they're dealing with that, but it was me hallucinating. I swore that my ex-husband had been in my room. I mean, I was absolutely, you talk about terrified. I've never been so scared in my life. My Some of you guys know the story of my biological dad and his wife. They actually found me. Um, and he called me at the hospital, and I don't have any recollection of this, but apparently when he said my name, I yanked the phone out of the wall. I guess this was before I was out. Just the first couple of days at Park West Hospital. Apparently, I yanked the phone out of the wall.
He called you more than once. He called you, I think, 4 times on the same.
Oh, Noah said he called 4 times. Surprised I didn't do more than yank the phone out of the wall. What else we got, Noah?
So far, nothing yet.
Okay.
So,
I'm just so happy to be back and see you guys. And, some people left. People are still asking about Awen, and that is the farthest thing from my mind. People said that her mom had COVID. I don't know what's happened with that, or she's back, or whatever. I wish her the best. I hope her mom's okay. I know how she feels about her, so yeah. When you go through something like this, that kind of stuff is inconsequential. I don't have any bad feelings. I mean, I'm not gonna welcome her back or anything, or reach out to her or anything like that. But that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's over. When you go through something like this, you figure out who your people are real quick. And you guys are my people. Paul's my people. I don't know if Paul's here. I see Algo. Hi, Algo. I talked to Algo when I woke up. I think I talked to Algo before I was completely woke up too. So I don't remember much about that, but Mom said that all the mods had gotten together. It's such a weird thing. Mom was like, "Yeah, I talked to. I won't use their real names. Oh, I got Kay and Hot Scorpio and Algo and Rosie and all these people. We had a big group phone call, and I was like, it's so odd when those two worlds collide. It's like my mom and people that I know online. Like, I'm close to both of them, but they never had any kind of interaction. But they got together, and now my mom knows who they are and has had conversations with them, and it's just it's so odd. It's like, I can't believe you talk to some of the mods. I'm like, I don't know what I expected, but of course my mom did. Of course she did. It was just crazy. So crazy. But I just wanted to thank everybody for all the messages. And I know people sent some stuff and they couldn't deliver it because of my condition in the hospital. So if you're one of those people, thank you. Thanks for all the prayers. I know that's what did it. I've had no less than probably 50, I'm not exaggerating, nurses, doctors, therapists, people that worked in the hospital that have said, you didn't just get one miracle. It was one after the other, after the other, after the other. And I believe that. And that's a heavy thing to think about because you just want to say, why me? But I'm going to figure out why me. I guess that's my new thing. This is going to sound crazy, but I remember the first day that I was awake. Dan came to visit at the hospital, and I said, "You've got to tell me. I got to know about these cases." And Dan doesn't follow, my stuff. That's why I have a YouTube channel, because Dan doesn't want to hear about all these kid cases. And I'm like, Google Summer Wells. Did they find her? That was the first one. And then he was like, no, she's still missing. And then I said, I could not think of Michael. I said, Connolly? See, this is what I mean. My brain is stupid. Monkey, the little boy that's missing from Idaho. And he's like, I'm not seeing anything. And I'm like, go to NECMEC and look at the poster. They always keep missing children. It doesn't matter how long. I said, it'll be under a state. And he's in Idaho. And he was still missing. And then I talked to people and they're like, did you hear about Alec Baldwin? And I'm just like, am I living in the Twilight Zone? I mean, absolute. What all happened news-wise in the world in the 2 months? I feel like I woke up to a different world. Like, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All the things that have happened. Um, I heard about I don't remember her last name, the little girl Chloe from Australia, and I boo-hooed. Like, that was a good one. Lord knows I'd have covered that on this channel had I been home. And it was so nice to have gotten a good result out of that. I'm so happy for that family. A lot of people are talking about Gabby Patino. I have no idea whatsoever what that's about. I was so overwhelmed. I kind of haven't watched a ton of true crime stuff because I'm still trying to sort out in my head what's a hallucination and what's not, and trying to find out from people what actually happened. I'll be honest, I got more information from doctors and nurses because my family really didn't want me to know how bad it got. Um, but I'm getting there. It's very overwhelming. Um, the panic attacks were bad. Um, Waking up with a trach in your throat and all this stuff. I swear to God, I still hear the beeping. Um, the first time I left the room, my hospital room at the special hospital in a wheelchair, I was in complete isolation. Um, so about a week ago, they took me out to see how I would do in a wheelchair, and it was wild. I went around the entire floor, and every door is open, and all you can hear is machines. Everybody is on a ventilator or on a trach, and that noise. I mean, it was just so heartbreaking. And all the nurses were like, you're the only person on the floor that can eat. You're the only one that's really any kind of mobile that's allowed to leave their room. It's just, you talk about you really feel like that's not where you belong. I wanted out of there so badly. You hear the bed alarms go off and you wonder, how bad is that? You hear code blue over the intercom, and it's just, I hope to, when I left, I said, I hope I never see you guys again. I will not be back. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Um, I see somebody saying about vaccinations. I had gone to my internal medicine doctor who manages all of my crap. And since I had just had the gallstone, I had an infection and was on antibiotics at the time. And I had a number of other things going on. And I have a compromised immune system because I have Crohn's and it's not in remission. And since I kept getting infections, they took me off of the treatment. I can't be on biological medicine with an infection. And so I did ask my doctor about getting immunized, and he said no. So you guys know I never left my house. I only left to go to doctor's appointments and the hospital. And I took a crap ton of immunity stuff. Like, I did everything I could think of to keep myself from getting COVID. I was taking a ton of vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry syrup, you name it. And the way I got it, so weird. My best friend since second grade, her husband worked with Dan. That Thursday, he came in hacking and coughing, and Dan said, "If you have COVID and I take that home to Jess, she is going to beat the crap out of both of us. You know that, right?" And then, sure enough, Friday, he didn't come to work, and they said he tested positive for COVID. So that's where I got it. I've been in contact with my best friend. Her name's Claudia. So I've been talking to her for the week. How's Scott? How's Scott? While I was sitting in the emergency room, Scott had already been in the hospital. That was a Friday. So he had it and diagnosed for a whole week before I did. And I was talking to her in the waiting room of the emergency room. And I had said, how's he doing? And she said, they're putting him on a ventilator right now. And then I was out. Mom never thought to contact Claudia. And so I kept getting messages. Are you okay? Are you okay? I didn't want to tell her I had COVID, but I did, because I knew she would think Scott gave it to Jess. But so when I woke up, I kind of explained stuff to her. I did not tell her how bad it got, but I was asking about Scott, and he still had a trachea, and I think they took it out maybe yesterday or day before. But he's still in rehab and has a long way to go. But to think that I got it after him and got it so much worse, like he didn't go into organ failure and stuff, according to her. He's just been on a ventilator and out, and they put a trach in and that kind of stuff. But he still has weeks before he'll be able to come home. You just don't know how much of the damage is permanent. So that's the hard part.
Another question.
Yep. What other question we got, Noah?
Someone wants to know, Miss Wee Leslie wants to know, how is your appetite?
It's different. I did lose taste and smell for a while, my mom said, but not while I was aware. She handed me chapstick, and I said, "Oh, it's orange." And she was like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "I can smell it." And she was like, "Oh, your smell's back." I did lose a ton of weight, mostly muscle. Y'all know, women, y'all know about the bat wings. When you get after a certain age, you lose a lot of money. That skin, that is actually on the bottom part of my legs. Like, I can pinch. It's just skin where your muscles just waste away where you don't use them. So I was on a feeding tube for so long, 8 weeks, I think. So I could not have. I only started being able to take anything by mouth 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And so your stomach shrinks up. So I couldn't eat a ton. And then they were still putting medicine in my feeding tube, which causes your stomach to be full. And so then you really can't eat a ton. But I crave sushi. There for probably the first week, I didn't want anything that was warm. I just wanted cold. And when you're in the hospital, they feed you eggs every day. I'm so freaking sick of eggs. If I see another egg, like I can't. I just can't. Um, and my diet is so weird. I ate a ton of turkey sandwiches because it was one of the few things I could actually get down and digest and that kind of stuff with all my medical crap. So it's back. I ate a lot of popsicles, some sherbet, which isn't good for a diabetic, but you kind of have to do what you can so they don't put a feeding tube back in. They just balance it out with insulin. I had sushi the other day. Dan brought me sushi to the hospital. That was nice. Um, After I passed they have to give you a swallow test to make sure when you're on a ventilator and intubated, all of the muscles in your throat kind of paralyze themselves because you can't use them. And so when they take all that out, it's easy if you swallow things for it to go into your lungs and not your stomach. So they have to give you a test to see. They put you in front of this like X-ray machine. You have to drink this barium stuff, and they watch you chew and swallow to make sure it's going the right way, and then they'll okay you to have food and stuff again. And so I passed that, and the first thing I had was a Frosty from Wendy's. I could only drink like 5 sips out of it, and I was full. But I'm telling you, it was the best thing ever. I know that sounds crazy, but that was my first food, and it was wonderful. Um, one one day they completely forgot to feed me since I'm the only person on the floor that could eat. Dietary really screwed up a lot of stuff. There was a lot of things I couldn't eat, and so one night the nurses had all ordered Chinese food, and they ordered me Chinese food, and I felt so bad because there was a ton of that I couldn't eat. But I drank like the egg drop soup, and I was like, I just want something cold. Give me sherbet. But anyway, it was a trip, you guys. It was a trip. And I'm still processing a lot of it. Ginger. Oh, good Lord. That dog, there's no telling what she thought for me being gone that long. When I came home, she jumped up in this wheelchair, and it took us probably a good 20 minutes just to get her to calm down and quit licking me. I mean, she just wanted all up in my face, and they were like, I hope she doesn't hit the thing on your throat. And it was like, I'm not going anywhere. And she would not leave. So she rode around in my wheelchair the first day. She slept in the bed. Very, very little has she left wherever I am. So that was cute. I felt bad. But
You gonna tell about that first time she heard your voice?
oh, I had called Noah, my middle son, who's 16, um, called me probably 4 or 5 times a day, every day. And he had me on speakerphone because he was doing something. My nose itches like crazy when I take my medicine. I didn't take Benadryl. Um, and Ginger heard my voice, and she came running to where Noah was. And when she saw I wasn't there, Noah said she just kind of collapsed in the floor. And I felt so bad. And I was like, don't put me on speakerphone anymore. So I'm telling you, dogs know what's going on, you know? They know what's going on.
I've never seen a dog cry before. That was the first.
Noah said she cried.
Literally, there's tears in his eyes.
He said that she cried. I don't know. Never seen a dog cry, but I'll take that for what it is. So, I did going back to the vaccination thing, I did try to get them to give it to me at the hospital before I left. And everybody else in my family is going to be vaccinated. But since they got the um, antibody thing, they aren't eligible until December. The hospital, Tennessee, is weird. Like, we had too many vaccines and now there's not enough. And so I'd been waiting for 2 weeks to get the antibody or to get the vaccine, and they just couldn't get it in. So I have a follow up on the 29th with my primary. And I can't remember if I had a flu shot this year. I believe so. I get one every year because of my immune system. So I will be getting a vaccine, which I hate because I hate being the mandate thing drives me nuts. But oh, Lord knows I can't do this again. Not again. Not again. So, what do you guys want to talk about? I don't want to just talk about my crazy hospital thing. Did you guys watch the um the Diane Sawyer 2020 thing about the Turpin kids? Did anybody else watch it? I just watched it last night. I saw somebody posted in Discord. Did anybody else watch it? And I was like, oh, I remember that story. Let's see what happens. And the last part of that show really pissed me off. I'll be quite honest. Um, if you don't remember, the Turpin family was out in California. It was a family of 15, 13 kids, and they were being chained up, starved. Um, According to a lot of people, it was the worst child abuse case in California ever. And one of the girls escaped and called 911 on a really old cell phone. And that's how they found out the family was getting ready to move again. I'd say if they moved again, they probably wouldn't have made it. Um, Fun fact, Diane Sawyer is an alumni to the college that I went to. They have a huge oil painting of her at Midway College in Midway, Kentucky. Um, I don't think I even knew Diane Sawyer took over 2020. I probably haven't watched 2020 since what's her name was on it. Now I can't. This is what I mean. COVID brain is a thing, guys. Y'all are lucky I know my own name. Um, yeah, they had thing 1, thing 2. Yeah, they had all the way up to thing 13. These only the two oldest. Only two of the girls, the oldest, Jennifer and then Jordan. Jordan is like kid number 8, but she's an adult. Those were the only two that felt comfortable doing the interview and being on camera. One of the oldest sons talks and sent in like a video diary, but he didn't want his face and he didn't want to do an interview. Um, can I eat watermelon? Oh my God, I would kill for watermelon. I asked for watermelon and they're like, it's the end of October. Because I told Dan, go get me a watermelon milkshake. And he's like, Jess, they're gone. There's no watermelon. But I've been eating the crap out of smoothies. I miss that. Xander made me my soup. If you guys know me, there's a special soup that I make every single week. And I'll do it for like, I'll eat it for lunch 2 or 3 days in a row. It's the one thing when my stomach is completely stupid. It settles my stomach and I can digest it. So he made me a huge thermos of it twice and they brought it to the hospital. AJ, I know I saw quite a few comments, people asking if I had quit because of Awen. No, I promise I will never quit YouTube without making an announcement. So, if something, God forbid, happens again and I'm gone for a little while, it is not because I quit. I will promise that today. I will never quit YouTube without making some sort of an announcement about it. Um, let's see. I need some daggone watermelon.
I want to know if that recipe for the soup is on your Discord.
No, but I will put it up. And there's a few different ways I make it. Sometimes I eat it just. Sometimes I put cabbage in it. Sometimes I put rice in it. Sometimes I put egg noodles in it. So it changes a little bit, but it's all stuff that I can eat. So um, I love it. I absolutely love it. But now I do need some watermelon. What else we got? Oh, the Turpin thing. Kathy saying thanks, Noah. Noah has been such a. They all have. Noah's been such a big help.
Should I talk about my girl?
He's like, do you want me to paint your nails? Because he knows I paint my nails on Sunday, and I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. And he was like, well, let me know what all you need to do your makeup. And I'm like, this could be interesting. My vision has changed, which is weird, and I don't know if it's medication causing it or what. Some of you guys know, I don't know how many, but about whenever I had my toe amputated, which I also refer to as weight loss surgery. Didn't weigh much, but every little bit counts. I say that's the piggy that didn't want to go home. They had told me, this is before the gallstones, that I was in stage 4 cirrhosis of the liver and that I needed to go to Emory to get on a transplant list. And with COVID, the clinic kept shutting down, and so I couldn't go. And now that all this has happened, my liver is functioning 100%. Because I asked the doctor, do I still need to go to Emory to get on a transplant list, and what does that look like in my state right now, like the state of my health? And he was like, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with your liver. So, riddle me that one, Batman. Um, I've always made the joke. I've got a body of somebody that looks like somebody had a whole lot more fun than I ever did. I've never been a drinker, smoker, none of that junk. But my vision, you guys know I'm legally blind. I turned on the TV because my iPad died in the hospital one night, and I turned it on the true crime channel, obviously. After I watched Jeopardy, that was kind of my constant in the hospital. I'm a Jeopardy fanatic, and since they read it to you, I can play. And that's when I realized, holy crap, I can read some of the stuff on the TV. Now, up close, I think it's a little harder. So, something in my vision has changed. So, I'm going to be making an eye appointment ASAP to see maybe enough has changed that they can correct it, and maybe I can get glasses and be normal and I won't have to have Noah read. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, it's just so weird. It's so weird. The stuff that was so bad. My sugar is under control. I mean, obviously, I'm still diabetic, but my sugar hasn't been in control since I was diagnosed because of pancreatitis and all that other mess. But it's like everything broke and then some things just came back better than they were before I got sick, and that's amazing. Aaron, I see you. My goodness, I haven't talked to you in forever. I see you. That's not your screen name, but I know who you are. Um, I am, and as hard as that is for me to say, what has happened to me has been nothing short of a miracle. It's it's overwhelming because it's not an accident. And if it's not an accident, it means I'm here for a reason. And now I just gotta figure out what that is and make it a point to work on that. But it's rough, you guys. That's not the right word. It's overwhelming to think about. You can get really depressed when you think about what you missed. I missed all of Elijah's football season. Um, Xander got his stuff back. Xander is my oldest that I've homeschooled all the way through. Well, he went to kindergarten first and second, but he was the one that didn't want to go back to school. He wanted to stay homeschooled, and so he finished. And so he got all of his test scores and stuff back while I was out, so that he's legally done and passed with flying colors. And so we're planning his little graduation party. I told him I didn't care if he went to public school or not. He was going to get a cap and gown that I can take his picture in, but he could pick the colors. Like, not many people get to do that. You get stuck with whatever mascot your school is. He gets to pick. And he got a job while I was out, and he's been saving up some money. People went and took driving tests while I was out. My parents moved back from Panama, bought another house. I mean, it really was just surreal. Just trying to figure out what all had happened. Um, some of you guys know the story about my brother, whose niece that we took for a year. Apparently, he has got back in contact with the family because he had cut off everything, and was asking about me and wanted to come visit. And the hospital that I was at, you could only have 2 visitors, and only one of them could come once a day. You had a list, and you could only have 2 people on the list, and then there was a set visitation time. So it was my youngest brother, because he lived 5 minutes away from the hospital, and if it had been an emergency, he could have been there faster. So my brother Isaac was on the list, and my mom, because she didn't work. So mom was up there practically every day. And then with Dan's schedule, they made an exception for him because he does 4 on, 4 off, and 12-hour shifts. So they made exceptions for Dan to come. But like, if my mom came in the morning, nobody else could come. So it was very strict about who they let in there. And, had they been vaccinated or got the antibody thing or all that kind of mess. So the kids couldn't come to the hospital. They let Elijah come a few days, like last Sunday. Elijah got to come with mom for 2 hours. Because Elijah, like, even when I was at the other hospital, kids under 18 weren't supposed to be there. So Elijah had not seen me since I left the house for the emergency room. So it had been 2 months. I was in the hospital it was 70 days. Day 70, I went home. 10 weeks, guys. 10 weeks at a hospital. It's something else. I missed fall. But before I came home, Noah decorated our house for Christmas. He put my Christmas tree up. So the fireplace was on and the Christmas tree was plugged in when I came home. That was nice. I know a ton of people have already decorated for Christmas. I think this year has been so bad for so many people. Everybody is just ready for some Christmas. And I can't blame them. I did too. I just wanted something happy. The news is crazy. The world is falling apart. There's not a whole lot of good news out there right now. So, Said, Noah, you're a star. Noah's a good one. He's a good one. Anybody would be lucky to have a kid like that. Cute, cute, cute. I'm just so happy to be here. I was so nervous when I started. I don't look the same. I probably sound different. I'm not completely sure. I did sound way different before they took the trach out, and then when it was still open in my throat, I kind of think I sounded like the gopher from Winnie the Pooh. I kind of whistled. But now that it's closed up, I don't know. Maybe I sound different. Maybe I don't. I still have packages to open. So if you sent things, thank you. I just might not have gotten to them yet. It's weird though, opening stuff and you're like, I don't even remember ordering that. Thank God I didn't order anything while I was in the hospital. Lord knows that's what I do when I'm bored. Online shop. The home health nurse came yesterday and did my intake. That took a couple of hours. And then the physical and occupational therapists start making their round Monday. So we'll see how many days a week I have to do that. So there's that. So what else has been going on? Like, what are you guys watching? Crime wise. I see Summer Wells is even more dramatic than it used to be. I've been watching a few things I have watched. Chasing. Can't think of her first name to save my life. When I'd heard the rumor from Facebook that they had found Summer, that they had found a body. And you want to talk, I cried. A nurse came in and was like, what is wrong? And it's hard to explain to people. I have a YouTube channel and I'm crying over a kid I don't know. That was cruel. Whoever started that god awful rumor is absolutely cruel. I was glad Chasing made that video and said that it's absolutely not true. It's just a rumor. I'm behind on Summer, but I don't think there's been anything official, right? There's been no more press conferences on Summer. They haven't released anything. It's just, I still haven't even watched where they went on Dr. Phil. I'm not even sure that I want to. I don't see any updates on Michael at all. Like when I searched YouTube, my videos came up. And the news things that I covered, like it's just gone completely silent from what I can tell. And Valo, I ain't got a clue. Are there more charges? I've seen snippets, like people talking about it, and I'm just like, I can't even. Not now. I heard something about new documents. Something about there's charges over Brandon's attempted murder? But I'm so far behind on that. Is Mark Mean still on the case? See, I don't even know that. Have they got rid of that bum yet? Is he still there? Have they had a hearing?
There's been more charges for both of them.
Well, that's sad. No one knows more about the case than I do now.
Lori and Chad got charged.
Lori and Chad got charged for Brandon's attempted shooting. More charges. Have they charged anybody else? Is it still just Lori and Chad? Did they go after Melanie Boudreaux for Brandon's stuff? Means is still on? What? That's messed up. Have they had a hearing? Is Lori still crazy? Like, is she still not being charged because she's committed? She's still in the hospital? or she's not in the hospital, she's in the jail, but is she still on a stay? Just Lori and Chad. I've seen a lot of people talking about Zalima, but I don't know why. Monkey. There's something about a white SUV they're looking for. Well, there's that. There's that. That's at least something. Summer Wells has turned into. Huh. Has a Grandis come back? I know I'm jumping all the way around. Has Summer's grandma come back or done an interview or anything? Has she resurfaced? Just Lori and Chad have been charged. No, Melanie. I can't believe they can't find a reason to charge Melanie for her ex-husband's attempted murder. That's kind of crazy.
Her grandma's still gone.
Grandma's still gone. Okay. Anything out of Hunter or his mom? Or is that calmed down too? A lot of interviews released.
Dawn got a DUI, whatever that is.
I think that happened right before I went in the hospital. The DUI, I do remember that. But he's out, right? Didn't he get out on bond? I bet you they were looking for anything. So, have they done search warrants anywhere? Is there any search warrants that we know of for Summer? Just Lori and Chad, nothing being charged against Melanie. There's a hearing on December 2nd. Still crazy. I hear you. She's still nuts. I hear that too. Still in the hospital. I don't think she's in the hospital. After they got the bomb threats, it wasn't secure enough. I would say I'm 99% sure she's back at the jail. And that was before I was moved. Or before I went to the hospital. See, that's going to be the fun part of this memory. Stuff that I know that I'm not supposed to know, I don't remember if I'm supposed to know or not. Lori's still incompetent. I wouldn't say she's incompetent. I would say she's manipulative. But we'll go with the legal term. I'll go. Means hasn't attended hearing. Oh, she got extended for 180 days. Good Lord, she's going to milk this for all it's worth. Can't blame her. I would say jail's going to be a lot easier on her than prison is. Promise. The document dumps. Lord have mercy. Document dumps.
What's these people saying that you're adorable? They try to hit on my mama.
No, well, you're crazy.
Married woman, mom, you got to read.
So, yeah, the hairdresser's going to come to my house, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to get that oil slick mermaid hair. I've never dyed my hair before, and I'm like, hey, I died and came back. I'm going to do whatever I want to, and I don't care what people think about it. So it'll probably be a little shorter, but I'm going to do something fun. The day bookcase while you're out. You know what? I will say something. When my little, without being real, like getting into all of it, because it's still really overwhelming, but my trip to heaven, or I call it the foyer, so I couldn't go in. And there's a reason for that. If I had been in, I probably wouldn't be here. Um, it was, you would think of a question like in your head, you wouldn't even say it out loud. And before you could even finish the thought, you knew the answer. It was so wild. Like, you just start to think, where's, and then you would just know. You wouldn't get like an answer, like an audible answer. It's just like you knew. And you could see different things. And one of the things that I saw was a playground. It was a huge playground, and there was all these kids. And I hope this doesn't make me cry. There were, I recognized so many of the kids that we've covered on this channel, and they were just playing. And that was so comforting. You know, I would never in a million years contact their family to tell them that. Um, ever. Um, and I'm gonna say this, and I, I don't want it to make it back to her family. So please, if you know her family, don't share this. Um, I saw Denise while I was there. Oh, jeez. And she was so happy. She was with the kids on the playground. Like, she was just so, she was Denise. She was still Denise, you know? Um, but I would never, contact her family. I saw Denise because it's not a message, or I'm not, I don't channel people. I'm not a medium. I think if that was me and I was still grieving, I would be afraid people would say, give her another message, ask her a question. Like, this is hopefully a once in a lifetime experience. It's not a parlor trick that I can do again. And I'm not sure how that would affect the way they grieve. I'm afraid that that seems manipulative and could set them back. So that's not something, do you understand what I'm saying? It's weird. I will say she was pissed today when apparently you can still be mad in heaven. Um, I will say that. But she was just, it was so nice to see her, It was so nice. And I'd say none of you probably know, but I had a miscarriage after I had Xander. In between Xander and Noah, I had a miscarriage. And I got to see that it was a little girl. And she wasn't a baby. It was like I didn't see any babies. Like, people that I knew that had died, my grandparents, stuff like that, they were younger, like 30s. Like, I've seen pictures of them, and they were just younger. And the kids weren't babies. It was like they were still allowed to grow. So that was comforting, you know. It was something else. It was it's so much different than a dream. There was no light at the end of the tunnel, like flying around. Like, I didn't have that experience at all. Um, there was, it was just so comforting. The way I described it to my mom was, if you just got out of the bathtub or the shower and somebody handed you a towel straight out of the dryer, it's just like a warm hug. It was just comfortable. It was just comfortable and beautiful. I mean, you couldn't put it into words. Mom's like, you need to write a book. And I'm like, absolutely not. It's such a personal experience, Um, there's a ton of people that say they went to heaven and back, and I will say my experience was, and I've read quite a few of them. After I had my miscarriage, I really went through some hard things, and I wanted answers to things that you're not supposed to get answers to. And I read a lot of that, and none of what I experienced was anything like that. None of it. Um, None of it. I didn't see Jesus. You don't see God. It was like a welcoming committee, and some of the people I didn't know. Like, I guess I did while I was there, but like I said, the memory of it is fading. And I think that's for a reason. I don't think you're supposed to remember stuff like that because you would miss it, you know? And so mom has a lot more. She said I told her all kinds of stuff when I first woke up. And she was like, I can't believe, like, she said, there's no way I would ever think that was a dream because I told her stuff about her and family that was gone, when she was little. Um, One of the people, I called it the welcoming committee. Um, I described him and I said, I know he was killed in World War II. Um, and he was a paratrooper. And mom said that was my mom's first husband. My grandma died when I was 2 months old. I had no idea she had another husband. I knew of my grandpa. Now I've never met him, um, but it was wild. It's just wild. The things that you see. Sorry, you just think about it. It's just overwhelming. It's just overwhelming. I I went to hell too, but that I'm not ready to tackle that one. Um, However bad you can imagine a place like that, you aren't even close. You aren't even close. That's what I had a lot of panic attacks about. I stayed up for 3 days, like literally, after I came out of it. For 72 hours or so that I was awake because I was afraid to go back to sleep. Mm, that one was hard. But, at least I went there first. Ended on a better note. But it was. It's the one place that should be on everybody's bucket list. You'll never convince me that that didn't really happen. It definitely happened to me. So, as many times as people question in their life what happens to you after you die, is there something afterwards? Now I feel like I know, like, that's not a question, and it kind of changes your priorities. It changes the way you look at life and decisions you make, and you appreciate the people that are around you. And you guys are my people. It's Sunday night. I don't know how many people are in here.
63.
Y'all are listening to me carry on. So many of you guys emailed, messaged me on Facebook, left comments, and I know some people kind of got aggravated with their response, um, maybe from some of the mods. They didn't know what else to do. I think that is what my mom told them to put while I was out. So as soon as I could, I answered, "Where are you?" I should have just copied and pasted it. I know I answered that question 200 something times. Um, the mods really held stuff down, tried to answer what they knew. It's just been crazy. So hopefully everything will get back to normal. I'll get videos and stuff out. We'll keep doing lives and we'll quit talking about my health crap and get back to talking about these kids who still need justice and help and need their stories out there, and we'll be back to it. Follow that crazy Vallow case wherever in the world that thing is going. I still, like, I keep sitting here thinking they have been charged for Brandon's attempted murder, but not his ex-wife. I can't wrap my head around that. Yeah, I've got some great mods. Great mods. Boy, I felt bad. Kresha had just made me a mod on her channel like 2 weeks or so before I got sick, and then I just up and disappeared. And I'm like, I wonder what Kresha thinks I am, because she's not on my Discord. Any of that, she might not have seen what was going on, but yeah, my goodness. So we've been out this for, oh wow, it's almost been an hour and a half. I kind of thought maybe this would be a 30-minute and I wouldn't feel up to much more than that, but yeah, I'm definitely working on my health. Oh, my taste changed. That was kind of weird. They brought me pancakes, and as much as I thought, oh, finally, it's not eggs at the hospital, I don't like pancakes anymore. There was a handful of other things that I used to really, really like, and then it's just like, I don't like that anymore.
Are you ever taking a question about seeing Denise?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, you can ask a question about seeing Denise. I don't know that I can answer it, but.
They asked, you said Denise was with the kids. Are you talking about Tylee and JJ?
It was a playground full of kids. And I mean, like, an entire school recess thing. Like, you couldn't even see the whole playground. It was huge, and there was just kids everywhere. But I didn't see Summer. I did not see Summer, and I did not see Michael. But I'm not going to say that one because his family does watch. I'm not going to say that. Kids that I have covered were there. Cases that we have seen and covered, and they were all just happy and playing. When I first saw Denise, she was pushing a swing, and she smiled, that way that only Denise could. And she was happy. That was her element. God, Denise loved kids. I don't remember specifically seeing JJ and Tylee, unfortunately. I wish I could, because I do think that's something I would probably tell Annie and Kresha, but I didn't. And maybe that's why. Maybe I wasn't allowed to see that because that's not something that they would want to handle right now either. But I remember when I left, Denise, peace out, Girl Scout. If you guys know Denise, that's what she always said. My Lanta. Oh, my Lanta. She didn't say that, but it was nice. Sorry. It's not a sad thing. I'm glad I have that memory. I hope that one doesn't go away. And Ziggy, oh my gosh, you guys, Ziggy was there. If you guys are from Paul's channel or have been, around Sofa Squad back in the day, like way back in the day, Ziggy was there. And she didn't have, she had a trach and she had to use I can't think of the word for it now. She kept the stoma in her throat, and that's the only way she could talk. If you guys remember, she used to really like to go on Gray Hugh's show, and she would type a storm, and Gray would be like, just call in, Ziggy. And then he did it, I don't know how many times, and she would have to say, I can't, I have a trach, I can't talk. And so she didn't have the machine that she talked through. Ziggy couldn't talk. So anytime we got in voice chat, we always had to remember to keep the comment window open because she would type to whatever we were saying. But she was there, and that was nice. She was okay. We lost her tragically before Denise. If you guys don't know her, I don't think you can even see the video anymore. I think Paul took it down. Her son was really crazy, and she had a lot of disabilities. He had to take care of her, and he had some major mental things, and he actually killed her and then killed himself, and they were found a few days later. And I was so mad because her family decided not to even give her a funeral. So it was like she was there one day and then gone. It made me so mad because everybody deserves a funeral, But
they want to know if you told Paul about seeing Ziggy.
I don't remember. I did tell Paul about Denise. I told Paul. I said a little bit of everything. I don't even remember what all I told Paul, but Paul was the first person that called me after I was awake, and I talked to him for about an hour, and he cried, and I was like, "Why are you crying?" He's like, "But this was, like when I first woke up, within probably the first 8 hours or so." And he was like, "You just don't know." At that point, I didn't know how bad it had gotten. I don't think I even knew at that point what day it was, like that I'd been out for 7 weeks or whatever. To me, it's still September. It's really weird. But he was really happy to hear about Denise, and he's something else. So I'm sure all of you guys are subscribed to him, but if you're not, get over there and do it because he's amazing. He's an amazing human. I'm really lucky that I have so many good people in my corner. Really lucky. Really, really lucky. You just got home. Well, the live will stay up. The Summer Wells case is a bizarre shit show. Yeah. I would have to agree, and I don't even know what else happened. I just can't believe there's nothing. God, I hope this doesn't turn into a Madeleine McCann case, or we just never know.
What is the name of Paul's channel?
Reporting live from my sofa is Paul. I don't know what mods are in here. If you guys have got the link to Paul's channel, link it. Yeah, I know Paul hasn't done any lives, but he promised he was getting back to it. He had some stuff going on that's not nothing bad. Some life changes, and so there was a reason, but I'll let him tell that. It's not my thing, but it's not. It wasn't anything bad. Hey Jay, that's nice. I don't feel like it. I was putting on my makeup and I was like, and I could look like a Picasso painting, to be quite honest. Um, I'm withdrawing from a lot of medicine because they want you to be a little more comfortable in the hospital, and it's not exactly something you come home with. And so I shake a lot, not all the time, but I was like, and then I was nervous, and I'm like, I could have eyeliner up to my hairline. I don't even know. So I just stuck with the easy stuff. Dan's like, your makeup doesn't really match anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't get a tan. He said, no, I think you're actually paler. I said, if I get any more pale, I'm going to be translucent. But it was such a crazy experience. So crazy, you guys. So crazy. But all's well that ends well, as bad as it got, I'm here. Let me tell you, it was wild. The first week that I was aware, I had nurses come in my room at shift change and they literally gasped or jumped because they were like, how are you sitting up? How are you talking? And I guess that hospital you work your so many days and then you'll get like 4 days to a whole week off. So apparently a week for me was a world of different. They're like, we can't believe where you're talking, like. And then when I got my trach out, they were like, wow. Here's the funny thing. Today is the first day I looked in the mirror. um I was doing some stuff on my channel, answering comments a few different times, watching videos, and nurses would come in to check vitals or give me meds, and they're like, oh, what are you watching on YouTube? And it would be like, oh, I have a channel, and some of them have joined my channel. So if you were somebody that took care of me at the hospital, hi, thanks. Some of them added me on Instagram. That was pretty funny. But I'm like, I have a YouTube channel, and I would click on it, and I'm like, yeah, I used to do lives and videos and all this stuff, and I had, I don't know, maybe 5 different people go, that's you? Wow, that's a big difference. And it scared me. So I did not look in the mirror until today. The wound care nurse came in she had been there obviously, but the first time I saw the wound care nurse where I was awake and aware, she's like, I have to take pictures of all of your wounds. She took 37 pictures, and I'm just like, what happened to me? She's like, oh, you got a suture, you had sutures here and here, and I knew about the trach and the feeding tube, and I guess I'd gotten some bed sores that are healed up or whatever. But she kept taking pictures of my face, and I was like, what is wrong with my face? Y'all know, apparently I'm vain. I didn't think I was, but I had a lot of stuff on my face, and it's really covered up. I have a scar right here. But I guess when you're on the ventilator with COVID, they lay you on your stomach. It supposedly helps. And so from that and it moving around and all that kind of stuff, it cut my face a lot. The the actual mask or whatever. And so I have scars. I have brown spots. Like there's some on my ear that they thought were bruises, but they're not going away. And I was just like, oh my God, what do I look like? And I didn't want to know. So I didn't even look in the mirror till today. And I can't see very well, so maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. But in my brain, it was like people don't even recognize what I used to look like compared to what I look like now. It must be a really big difference. Oh, the announcement I was going to do that I forgot about, I'm doing a huge giveaway. I'll make a video that shows all of the stuff, but it's going to be huge because I got so much dang stuff while I was out, especially from BoxyCharm, and I'm just like, I'm not going to hoard all this stuff. It's stuff that I'm like, yeah, I'd probably use that eventually. I'm giving away. I'm going to get it out of here. Now that I'm in a wheelchair, we've had to rearrange furniture. We've had to get rid of furniture. So, and you guys have been so good. I'm going to do a big giveaway. I might even do more than one, to be quite honest. So, I've got skincare and makeup, and all kinds of mess. So, I'm going to do that. So look out for that. I'll do a video, show what the prizes are, whatever. You'll probably just have to be a subscriber, leave a comment kind of deal. Nothing major. So I'm excited about that. You had bruises everywhere. We're going to get back to the hunt-a-killer thing. I will post what day I can do that. It'll be another weekend probably deal. See who's still interested, because I have two, and I think another, like I had the first one and we did it with the Patreons and members, and I think I have two unopened here, and I think there's a third one on the way. I think the delivery notice that I got is another one. I've not even been able to clear out my email. You can only imagine. I have 3 email accounts in my Gmail thing, and it kind of just puts them all together. And it's just like, oh, overwhelming just to try to delete crap, get through it, answer stuff. If you have sent me a message, I think I've answered them all. I think I've responded to every comment. If you haven't gotten one, it's because I don't see it. So, I mean, I've done all of the Facebook messages. My YouTube studio says I've responded to all comments. So, if you've sent an email and I haven't answered it, I'm getting there. That's the only thing I haven't completely cleared out is my email. But I tried to filter it to people who just had my mistrial email. I think I've answered all of whoever sent me emails. So, yeah. All right, guys. It has been an hour and 38 minutes. And it is time for me to take medicine. And to be honest, I'm not used to sitting up this long. Well, I've done 2.5 hours for physical therapy, but it's nighttime for me. And I have to eat and take more medicine and all that fun stuff. But I wanted to at least do some kind of a live today because I am alive, you know, and I missed you guys, and I think I was dreading it, and I thought, just do it, you know. Of all the comments that I've gotten, I don't know why I thought I'd come back and people would be ugly or there would be trolls or whatever. So I'm happy to be back. I'm going to try not to do this again very, very hard. But yeah, leave comments, message me. You guys have questions or whatever. You can ask me. If I don't think I should answer it, I won't, but I'll tell you. Maybe that's not something I should talk about. So I'm not fragile anymore. I know a lot of people that were really close around me didn't want me to talk about stuff or ask questions. Like, you just need to get back on the road to recovery, and I'm okay now. No longer on life support. I don't have any more tubes. I'm okay now. So anyway, thanks for spending part of your Sunday with me. I will do my giveaway video. I'm probably going to do a video on that 2020 special because that one riled me up. We didn't get into it very far, but y'all should watch it so that you know why it got me riled up. The last 20 minutes of that really made me mad. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's on YouTube. It's a little over an hour long. The entire thing is on YouTube with no commercials. You just gotta Google it. So I'm back. I missed you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for staying. I was surprised I didn't lose more subscribers than I did. I think I lost like 24. Something weird. Thanks, guys. So I will talk to you guys soon. I love you.